For those who've already forgotten, my name is Elizabeth Wen. And I have the absolute honor of introducing Maha. How do I know Maha? Well, for years I have stared at the back of Maha's head as we waited in lines, my last name always placing me behind her. But since we were young, I have been by her side as we crowded close together in tight commons jammed with students for almost 8 years. As we've grown up, I've seen Maha change in so many ways, which included appearance and personality changes. I've seen her go through her tie phase and dye her hair red, but I've also seen her grow as a person. I've watched as she has become stronger, funnier, wittier, but most importantly, she has become more amazing. As we get closer to graduation or entrance into the real world, I can safely say that the world is not prepared for the amazing person that is Maha. So could everyone please put their hands together for the amazing Maha Fatima Virk.
I am a failure. To profess, let's go back to junior year. It's the first day of what's supposed to be the hardest year of high school, but I was sure I'd make it through. After all, everyone makes it through. I was ready until I met Mr. Stone and the worst class known to man, pre-cal. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but any challenge could be overcome. So let's start off with the first test. I was feeling confident. Maybe a B+ at worst, maybe a B if it's really hard. That is sadly nowhere near what happened. Not even close. I think I got a 40 or lower. I literally failed. But that should have been okay because there are retakes, right? Incorrect. I had to retake this test so many times. He had to print out a third or fourth retake that no one but one other person had ever taken. That's how bad it was. And it was literally only the first test. But surely this would not continue for the rest of the year and I'd eventually get it right? Once again, that was sadly not the case. I had to retake every single test and I only made a singular A on one of his tests, like literally ever. As I'm sure many of you remember, I was in that hallway outside his room retaking a test for more free periods than I could count. Yet, of course, I was still convinced I would get better at it eventually. While barely surviving with a B- in the class, I was still set on taking actual calculus senior year, which was genuinely the stupidest thought to cross my mind, considering I was barely making it through pre-cal. Clearly, this would have been a terrible idea, but I was set on doing so. Mr. Stone practically begged me, trying to convince me not to, but I would still continue to debate it. Thankfully, at one point over the summer, I came to my senses and dropped the class. I now know if I didn't, I probably would not have done too well and had an unnecessary amount of stress throughout my senior year, which is already stressful in itself. My point in telling you this story is this: giving up is okay. Sometimes. It's better to give up on things you know you're not good at, rather than trying and just continuing to fail. I'm not saying to quit whenever things get hard, but that there are going to be some things you're simply not going to be good at, no matter how hard you try. Trust me. And that's okay. You just have to learn to accept this and move on. You won't be good at every sport you try or have an A in every class you take, and sometimes you'll just have to do what's best for yourself rather than focusing on others' expectations or your future and what's to come. No, I'm not saying don't try in school. As long as you're doing your best, that's all that matters. I know we're all taught from a young age that perfection is important, myself included, but everyone has some things in life that they are just not made for. It's best to let these things go. You'll still get into college, even if you didn't take that one hard class. So, yes, I'm a failure because I could not get an A in pre-cal, but it is okay because we all are in some ways. Even the people who you think have it all figured out, struggle with, or just simply not good at some things. Even though I didn't do too well in math last year, I still got into the college I wanted to go to, and I'm pretty sure my parents don't hate me. In this sense, it was better to fail at something rather than to burn myself out trying. I know this is hard advice to take, and some of you might not listen, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Thank you.